The year was 2019, but the mountain pass felt like a realm outside of time. Rain hammered against the windshield with a rhythmic violence, turning the world into a blurred gray smear. Visibility dropped to nothing. The businessman gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles turning white as he strained to see through the deluge. He pulled over, his heart racing against the sound of the storm. He scanned the darkness, desperate for any sign of life. Then, through the swirling fog, a wooden sign appeared, swaying precariously in the wind. It read, "Hillview Inn." He stepped out, his shoes sinking into the thick, cold mud. He pushed open the heavy oak door, seeking shelter from the chaos, unaware of the silence waiting inside. The lobby smelled of damp rot and stagnant air, a scent that seemed to cling to the back of his throat. Behind the desk sat an elderly man, his skin like parchment, eyes fixed unblinkingly on a heavy ledger. He didn't look up. He didn't speak. With a slow, deliberate motion, he slid a tarnished brass key across the counter. The metal tag bore the number 207. The businessman took the key, the cold metal biting into his palm. He climbed the creaking stairs, each step groaning under his weight. Room 207 was oddly pristine. The bedsheets pulled tight with military precision, yet the air felt heavy, as if the room itself was holding its breath. He locked the door and collapsed onto the mattress, hoping for a dreamless sleep. At 2:13 a.m., a rhythmic sound snapped him awake. Knock, knock, knock. The sound vibrated through the wall, directly behind his head. He froze, his breath hitching in his chest. He waited in the suffocating silence, his ears ringing. Then, the pattern repeated. Knock, knock, knock. It was too deliberate, too close. He grabbed his phone, the screen light blinding in the dark. He flung the door open, ready to confront the prankster. The hallway was empty. Dust motes danced in his flashlight beam, settling on the floorboards. There were no footprints, no shadows retreating. He retreated into his room and slammed the door shut, the sound echoing like a gunshot through the hollow building. Minutes later, the floorboards outside groaned under a soft, deliberate weight. A voice, thin as paper and cold as the grave, drifted through the wood. Don't open the door. He pressed his back against the wall, clutching his phone until his palms sweated. He did not sleep again. When the sun finally broke the horizon, he grabbed his bag and sprinted downstairs. But the inn he entered was gone. The lobby was silent. He stopped dead, his breath catching. The reception desk was nothing but a pile of charred timber. Thick layers of dust coated every surface, and cobwebs hung like heavy curtains from the ceiling. On the floor lay a newspaper dated October 1998, yellowed and brittle. The headline spoke of a fire that left no survivors. He stumbled outside, gasping for the fresh morning air. He grabbed the arm of a passing villager, pointing frantically at the ruin. The villager pulled away, his face turning pale. "That place burned down 20 years ago," the man whispered, hurrying away. Trembling, the businessman pulled out his phone to prove he wasn't mad. He opened his gallery to show the photos from the night before. The files were gone, deleted, except for one. He tapped the thumbnail. It was a photo of the window of room 207 from the outside. There, behind the jagged, broken glass, stood a dark shadow, staring directly into the lens. He dropped the phone into the dirt and walked away, never looking back, the cold weight of that gaze still resting on his shoulders.